Hi, my name is Etienne Saint-Jacques. I'm a technical director at Avante Audio Visual in Calgary, Alberta. Today, we're going to talk about feedback. If you don't know what feedback is that most of the time high-pitched noise you hear in every single movie or TV show. Every time somebody uses a microphone, there is that high-pitched noise that you hear and almost expect. We're going to talk about how to reduce the chance of that happening, because that should, and I'm not saying it is, but it should be the goal of every sound guy to eliminate those. Alright, so like I said, today we're going to talk about feedback, that annoying sound that you hear. When I teach my guys how to do sound, and I've been teaching for a long time for numerous different companies. That's why all the gray hair, it's all natural. I always say to my guys, I said, if you do one feedback, people are going to look at you. If you do two feedback, there's a good chance that the client will stand next to you and wonder what's going to happen. And if you do three feedback, there's a good chance that they might want to replace you. So the goal for any corporate sound guy is always to not have feedback. So just a little bit of technicality. I'm going to try not to be too technical. Actually, I do want to do another video that will be a lot more technical, more destined to wannabe sound technicians or sound technicians that may or may not have been trained properly, because I feel that if all the technician pool gets better, we all win. So I was never one to be shy about sharing, my experience, my best practices, my technical know-how, because that's what I want. I want the industry as a whole to be better. I always feel we're going to be the best, but if we can bring everybody up, it just makes us look good, and I want our industry to look good. So I'll do another one. This one will have graphics and all that, but that's not what we're doing today. Today we're just going to talk about basic principles. So what is a feedback? So a feedback is when the sound from the speaker is being picked up by the microphone that you're either holding in your hand or wearing on you, and then being sent back to the speaker, and then back again, creating a loop. And that's what creates that sound. And the reason why it's most of the time in the higher frequency is because of how we EQ our systems, if you want. But realistically, there could be a feedback at any frequency. It's just most sound systems are not completely flat in terms of frequency response. So if there's a frequency that is generated more than others, most of the time that's the frequency that's going to feedback. If you look at the, and I do realize this is getting already very technical, so maybe I'll cut these parts out. I don't know. We'll see. But if you look at the frequency chart of a microphone, usually there's a few bumps in the end, just to make it more present. So it adds a little bit of that's another word that's hard. Intelligibility. Okay, I think I got it. Intelligibility. Anyway. It makes it easier for people to understand what you're saying, because of that little bump in the highs, and that's usually why the feedback is most of the time in the highs. So basically, what you want to do to avoid that, and that might be counterintuitive for some people, but is to raise your voice. I coach a lot of presenters on how to public speak. When I was younger, I did a lot of theater and stuff like that. So I was lucky to learn a little bit how to speak in public. Not in English. I've done it mostly in French. But the at least the technique is the same. So basically, you need to learn how to project your voice. And that helps with feedback as well, because the louder you speak, the less of the microphone, the less work the microphone has to do to amplify your signal. Therefore, if you look at a mixer, the faders will be lower, and then you'll still be at a appropriate level in the house. Okay, so. I got some microphone. I didn't have wireless microphones here, so just a regular 58, but it's the same technique for every microphone. This is not the microphone that's picking up my voice. Today, it's just a microphone on board the camera, so we're doing it low key. But yeah, so anyway, SM58, probably the most recognizable microphone of all microphones. Which we use often for singing, for Q&A. Some politicians prefer this, and there's some people that don't like to have microphones on them. So that's a good microphone for that. But if you're moving your hand like I'm moving with this microphone, it will not work. This microphone is actually meant to pick up about 6 inches. So this is how this microphone sounds the best. I see a lot of people do this. That's what journalists do. You'll have to remember that journalists are not going into speakers. So there's absolutely no feedback possibility for a journalist. So they can hold their mic pretty much how they want. And then when they send it to the newsroom, they can, edit it. And the microphones that journalists use most of the time have a very narrow pickup pattern, and it's just like this. So if they hold it there, pointing at their mouth, it works really good. But it doesn't work all that good for what we do. This is always the best. Try to avoid like this. Side does not work very well because it's meant, the way it's designed, it's meant to eliminate sound coming from the sides and from the bottom. So really like this. Don't hold it like that because it's going to make you sound all muffled. So like this, in front of your mouth, that's the best way. All right, let's look at lavalier microphones real quick. And people are sending me texts nonstop. All right, lavalier microphone. Oh, that one's broken. That's why it was here. I need to fix that one. So yeah, this is where I like to put microphones as close as the center as possible. Those are like this. They pick up like that. So if you move your head from side to side, the level will decrease. If you put it too low, it doesn't work. If you put it too high, it'll pick up the sound coming from your throat. And that's just an unpleasant sound. So I like to do second button right underneath up. That's what I've found works the best on most situations. Of course, sometimes the way people are dressed make this a little bit challenging. If you're wearing a t-shirt or a dress or something else, sometimes we'll go on the lapel, well, I'm not wearing a jacket, but you can imagine. And then I'll just, twist it a little bit, aim it more towards the mouth. But if you're on a lapel and you move your head, and I might have gone quieter because microphone is obviously on the camera, but if you move your head away from the microphone, you're quieter. And that's usually when the feedback arises, is when, you're getting a little quieter. The sound guy at the front tries to, bring you back. And then unfortunately, that's when it happens. But the goal for every sound guy should be to not have feedback. One thing you can do also to help prevent, and that's not what you can do as a presenter or as a meeting planner, but you can make sure that, whoever you hire to do your sound knows that, is, try to have the speakers away from the presenters as much as possible, and then directed towards the audience. When I do that video that teaches like more the technical side, I'm going to go deeper into this, but the goal for every speaker is to cover the audience and not the stage. A lot of time presenters come to me and ask me, is the sound on? Because they don't hear themselves on stage. But that's my goal. I don't want you to hear yourself coming from the speakers. Obviously, most ballrooms are not really designed with sound reinforcement in mind, so the surface of the walls are very reflective, so you'll hear some of it, but the goal is always to avoid that. That's why if you can fly your speakers and aim them down, that's always the best. More and more, some speakers, if we put them on stick, they have a function that you can aim them down as well, and that helps create a cleaner sound. That way it doesn't bounce against the back wall and to the presenter. But for some people that have been doing it for a long time in all sorts of different venues, sometimes they get accustomed to hearing, that's what we call that the slapback. But that should always be the goal, to not have that happen. That way it'll just sound better for everyone. One thing, and that's again a bit more technical, but I think it's important to know, is sound travels at a certain speed. I think it's 343 meters per second at sea level, roughly 1 feet per second. So what that means is, if you have more than one speaker system, I call speaker system being like the left, the right, that would be one system. But if you have delays, if you have front fills, if you have speakers that are wide, those need to be time aligned so they all cover the audience at the same time. Sadly, not everybody in the corporate world knows that. Well, sadly, not everybody in the audio world knows that, but I find that it's more common in the corporate world, because a lot of people tell me, oh, it's not music, we're not doing concerts, it's just speeches. Well, I've done both, and I've done a lot of both. And I can tell you that doing a concert is way easier than doing a corporate event, because most of the singers, they know how to use a mic. They will sing directly into it, while presenters, there's some fantastic presenters, but there's some junior presenters, or there's the person that does the safety moment and has never spoken into a microphone and might be nervous or something. So in order for you to make that person loud enough for everybody to hear, sometimes it can be challenging. So when you set your speakers up so they all play at the same time, you actually make it coherent for everyone. It sounds the same everyone, and then you have the same frequencies that are louder and quieter for everyone. While if you don't do that time alignment, as you walk on the stage, you have some frequency that will get boosted and some frequency that will get cut, and it will be different every step you make. So that makes it a lot more challenging. So always make sure that your tech knows about the speed of sound. And if they don't, be nervous. and next time, call us, because we all know that. There are tools to be able to set that. I use a computer software called Smart with 2 A's, in order to do my time alignment and all that. I was very lucky to work for a company that believed in all that technology, so I got a lot of training on this. It's possible to do it with a tape measure and your ears. As long as you have the knowledge, there is a way to do it. Whether you have, all the fancy tools or you don't, there's a way to do it. If you don't have that knowledge, you can't be expected to know how to fix things you don't know exist. Right? So very important that your technical team knows about this. Yeah, so I don't know where I was going. Somebody call me again. Oh, and another one. It just never stops. I should just take off my watch. I never take off my watch. All right, so basically I hope that helps. Please remember, people, if you just speak in the mic like this, you're making my life a lot easier. If you're wearing a lapel, remember, don't move your head side to side. Move your body. So you go like this, you know. You'll see if you watch the news, any news, they move their body. They're always sitting on swivel chairs, so they'll move the chair. That way the body follows the mic. So hopefully that helps. I look forward to hearing back from you. I hope we do gigs together in the future. All right, bye.